So if you're wondering what I'm doing, is this is going to stop the dogs from digging. And I'll explain. And the recycling bin is an impulse buy because I don't like the recycling bin we have at the house. It's too small and it's awkward. This one looks like it'll fit in a nice tight spot, and it's tall. And it's blue, the proper color. It's only 9:30 in the morning and it's already 34. We had Celsius, and we had not exactly a storm move through last night, but the smell of rain, wind, humidity, and so it's been a bit cloudy this morning, but that's breaking now, and it's humid, and yeah. Hey Siri, what's the dew point? The dew point's 19 degrees, which is uncomfortable. That's all I gotta say. Anything over 18 is typically uncomfortable. It's a better indicator of how nasty it is than relative humidity, because hotter air can't hold as much, but that doesn't mean it isn't miserable. So anyway, it's nasty. Let's take a look at why I needed that rock. First ollie, and now bumper 2, have taken to wanting to excavate the old pecan tree that was here. Now when they cut the pecan tree down, they cut it down below ground level, ground it down, and then buried it in. And that was long before Ollie even got here, but somehow he knew exactly where to dig. And I keep filling it back in, and they keep excavating it. So this time I'm going to start mixing big river rock in with it to discourage them. So that's what we're up to today. First, a bit of water for a base. Gravel. Dirt to go with it. And now I'm going to put the phone down and mix this stuff up and get it going. It's too hot and humid to be working. It's now 37. Climbing its way to about 42, 44 today. I'm not done yet, but I've got all the rocks in, and I'm letting the next batch of mud settle. We're close. So I've been working with a shovel. I don't know if you're like me, but I like to wear gloves when I use a shovel, and other things that you would use gloves for. And I've got a iPhone 7, which has the home button that isn't a real button. It's a haptic feedback faux button thing that, as long as the phone's powered on, it gives the illusion of being real. But guess what? You can't work it with. Just like the touch screen, you can't work the touch screen without special gloves. I don't know about the touch button. I've got a pair. I should try it. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because I learned an awesome new trick today. All you have to do is say, and we'll use the HS, Siri, the person that you say hey to. I'll just skip that part, just in case anybody's watching. But actually, it doesn't do it when you're recording video. So if I say, hey Siri, record selfie video, believe it or not, Siri will open up your camera and turn it towards you, set to video mode. And you can say, hey Siri, record video. Hey Siri, take a picture. What else? Hey Siri, take a selfie. Anyway, it opens, even if the phone's locked, it opens it up and it takes you to that. And then, so you ask yourself, how do you trigger the shutter? Well, you can use the volume control button, and which you can work with a glove because it's a physical switch. So that was my awesome new trick I learned today. And I couldn't find any way to get Siri to actually start the recording, though. So if anybody finds that, let me know, because that would be great too, because then I could use that in the car. You know, just mount the phone when you start off, and then somewhere during the journey you could just say, hey Siri, record selfie video, and it would do that. And then you could start the recording without having to push a button if there was a start recording command. So let me know if you find that. And I do apologize for all the people who have Siri that were watching this and kept getting triggered. And all I can say to that is, Alexa, turn off the lights. That's for you Amazon people. Thanks. All right, I better get back to filling in this hole. Well, kind of a quiet day, but I guess a couple of things have happened. I think my biggest one was when we went to eat this morning. We're at a restaurant that takes Apple Pay, and if you can use a watch. And to use the watch, you double click the side button, not the crown, but the side button, and it brings up the digital wallet, and with your default credit card, and then you swipe it. Well, when I pushed it, it was sticky. This happens sometimes. The crown gets sticky, the switch gets sticky, and usually you can just, push it and break it free, or it's waterproof enough you can actually run it under the sink and then do that. Kind of just like my face is like itching like crazy. But it was really kind of, and I was, clicking it, and I guess. Well, I'm not. We'll tell the story in the order it occurred, not in the order it really happened. So I clicked it a few times just to kind of clear it up, and then walked away with our drinks and went back to the table and sat down, and I'm sitting there at the table, and there's this little voice, this sound, and every once in a while, for example, when I put my phone in my pocket, every once in a while, if the screen isn't off, then the flesh of my leg through the lining of the pocket can sometimes trigger the screen, because I usually put the screen face in for protective reasons. And that was what I first thought, so I reached down and I grabbed my phone, and no, my phone's not playing music or anything like that, and I still hear it, and it's like, and I was like, it's my watch. Wait a minute, it's my watch. And I look over, and my watch says, emergency services call, SOS. And now that I've turned the watch up to my face, I can hear the voice, 911 services, please state the nature of your emergency, sir. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, no. And I can barely hear them. And 911 emergency services, please state the nature of your emergency, sir. And can you hear me? 911 emergency services, please state the nature of your emergency, sir. And so there's like a little phone button. Of course, it's actually red phone button. I reach down and I click it, and it's like, it hangs up, or it says it's going to hang up. It's, hanging up on 911. It's like, well, I better not hang up on 911. So I click the I'm not hanging up on 911, and I grab my phone, because normally you can transfer a call from the watch to the phone, but there is no phone. There's no call on the phone. And they can barely hear me. And I'm, no, can you hear me? No, there is no emergency. This is an accident. I'm sorry. No, there's no emergency. And he just keeps repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. I'm like, no, 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 no. And I cannot figure out what to do to let them hear me. I don't know whether I haven't engaged the call. I don't know whether I was freaking out. I was really freaking out, because obviously I didn't want to call 911, and I don't want to be tying up 911 services, and I want the cops to come busting the door down at the restaurant, if indeed that's even how it would work. And she didn't seem to be hearing me. And then finally I said, no, there is no emergency. Can you hear me? No, there is no emergency. It's an accident. All right, then we're hanging up. Click. And that was it. And I'm like, okay. I mean, good. But at the same time, it's like, do they have to send out a policeman because there's been a 911 call just to check up? Are they going to send it to the restaurant? It must have been tied to was it tied to my cell phone number? I don't know, because it didn't use my cell phone. I really don't know what happened there. I don't know but anyway, there's been no follow-up, and there's been nobody came to the house, nobody came to the restaurant, nobody called me back, nothing. So then I went to look and figure out what the heck happened. Was there like something where you push the button 12 times? Because I've done that before when I'm cleaning it, and never had this happen. Well, it turns out there's a mode that was turned on. If you click and hold it, it will bring up an emergency services call. And that's always if you click and hold. But then there's a further option that was turned on. That was, if you click and hold and you continue to hold, it will just automatically call 911, which is apparently what happened. And I guess what happened is that the switch was sticky enough that when I pushed it in, it stayed in. And so I was just walking away from the cash register with my watch down at my side with the button depressed. And, by the time I sat down, and it had called through to 911. So I turned that option off. So I think what has to happen now is that you would press and hold it, and then a slider will come up that says, do you want to call 911? And then you call it, which, if you were in a real emergency, maybe that's not what you want to have to do. But, how many times have I called 911 in my life? On purpose, and now once on accident. And it seems to me like maybe I'll err on the side of being able to hold it and slide a slider. So that was actually the most interesting thing. The family have gone off today to see some Taiwanese movie that I just had stuff to do. I had podcasts to edit and video to edit and stuff, so I didn't go. And so basically, if I had gone, I mean, they've been gone since noon-ish, maybe 12:30, and it's it's after 5:30 now. So another whole day shot if I had gone. I might have enjoyed the film. I probably would have enjoyed the film, but I just wanted to mostly relax and not call 911. That's what I wanted to do this weekend. Mostly relax and not call 911. Well, we're hunting Pokemon in the park, but it's starting to rain. So, we've had a heck of a lightning show up north. Actually, I think you may have just got some behind me there, which means it's now all around us. Huh. Alright, well, we're gonna, I guess, make this last circle. It's that rain sprinkle. It's Arizona. It's actually clear directly overhead, so it's blowing in from over there. It's probably windy. Anyway, back to the game. Apologies in advance for the hideous portrait mode video. But this just happens to be the way the bike mount is for my phone. I think I can turn it, but it kind of points the wrong way. So, ta-da! Here you go. Chu-Wan and I have just taken a 5-mile ride, which is basically nothing, but anyway, it's still pretty damn hot and humid. So this is the first ride of the year. I had to replace a valve stem on my front tire because it had seized up and was leaking out, so that stopped us from going. I think last weekend I had to get the valve stems and a valve stem tool, which I didn't have. Or I'm sure I have one, I couldn't find it. And anyway, we just ran down to the park and caught some Pokemon and just took a nice leisurely drive. And I can't tell what the temperature is right now, but it's about 30 and I don't know, 35% humidity. It's a bit uncomfortable, but it's not unbearable, especially if you're moving and the wind is cooling you off. Home. Well, one last thing for this video. Chu-Wan's birthday is this week, and we thought we found her the perfect present. It's a freestanding full-length mirror. She's wanted one for years, and I've just never gotten around to mounting one, and this one's like a jewelry case, and it's very nice looking, and it, even though I don't really like the dark, it kind of matches the stuff we have in our bedroom. So picked it up, and her birthday's in a couple days, but we just got it early and brought it home, and then I was starting to put it together, which is it's basically done, but the stand has to be, the mirror has to be mounted in the stand, and it's broken mirror straight out of the box. That's very disappointing. I'm gonna have to take it back. That'll be no problem, except it's just a pain in the ass. And all of the boxes looked kind of beat up, so the question is how many more are broken? Anyway, I'm pretty sure we didn't break it, so. But, you know, if they're all beat up and if they're all broken, the next time we take one back, they'll be like, do you guys know how to handle a mirror? Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I think I just did that backwards. Like, comment, subscribe.